What's up, everybody? It's me, Melonie Mac, here on my new social commentary channel, Melonie Mac Go Boom. Thank you all so much. All the new subs. I hit over 10,000 subs in like a day, less than 2 days. I'm at 11,000, I think, at the time of recording this, and I'm absolutely elated about this, and I'm really grateful to everybody who came from the Quarterings channel, because he made a video. I'm going to get into this a little more here in a bit, but I do want to thank everybody so much, and obviously I want to thank Jeremy, because that was very nice. And when I saw all the comments and the follows, I did get overwhelmed. I'm not going to lie. I was like, and the reason why I did is because I'm just... I don't want to let y'all down. Like, I want it to be worth it. I want it to be worth it for y'all to be subbed here. And so at first I was like internally freaking out a little bit, but now I'm good. I'm excited. I'm good. I'm like, hey, we're going to roll with this. One of the pieces of advice I got was get a pop filter, which I'm working on. But I will say another one was that my mic is too quiet, and so I turned it up. I have like a Rode AI1 interface and then the NT1 mic, but it has like a humming, like y'all probably are hearing it right now, and I don't know what's doing that. I don't know if it's an XLR cable, if I need to get another one, if it's the noise canceling trying to cancel out the hum from my PC. I don't know. So if anybody has any ideas, feel free to let me know and I'll try to fix it. But thank you all so much for bearing with me while I get my bearings here. This is also a different thing for me to do a lot of social commentary. I've always wanted to do this more, but people on my old channel, most of them didn't sub for that. And so I understand. That's why I made this one. So yeah, that's that. Now I got that out of the way. Let me go ahead and talk about this discussion at hand here. So, after I made my first video here, which a lot of y'all have watched it already, about how I came under fire for being friends with Jeremy, the Quartering. And so he even made the video about it, like right here. And the thing is, dude, I don't want no YouTube premium trial. Stop censoring people and we'll talk. Anyway, the thing is, yeah, a lot of people had issues with the fact that I've interacted with him, and I in the past, and we followed each other, and I consider us friends. We've never met in person or anything like that, like he even said in that, and we just occasionally, once in a while, might just have lighthearted DM conversations about current happenings or whatever, or we'll interact with each other once in a while on Twitter, on the public Twitter posts and all that. And for some reason, people get really mad about it. And it happened again after all this came out. The videos that I talked about everything and my experiences about the cancel mob coming after me and all that. So I want to talk about it. And I figured this is a good segue to discuss. I don't want to make this entirely about me either. So that's the thing with the content here. I want to be able to talk about things. I want to talk about things going on and things that are happening. I don't want to make everything about me. But in this case, I was like, dude, I've got to talk about this stuff. This is pretty funny. And it also is just a good segue to talk about how controlling that the cancel mob and the tolerant mob, the woke mob, whatever you want to call them, it just shows how controlling they are. And it really is like an abusive relationship almost. Now, I'll get more into detail about that later. But first, I want to show y'all this email I got at 1:28 a.m. I tweeted it. The guy is like, lol, they big mad. It says this. The title is helpful hint. I saw that in my inbox and I knew right away, especially like the no picture here, the no name here. I knew. I was like, okay, it's going to be some sort of hate. And it says, Melonie, if you hope to be gainfully employed in the entertainment/gaming space ever again, it might be best not to flaunt your friendship with Jeremy Hambley. Remember, WebArchive.org and similar services exist. Sincerely, PK. Sounds like a veiled threat to me. Like, you're gonna dig up something that I said. Dude, first of all, you think I freaking care? I've already made it very clear. I don't even delete my tweet history. If I really cared that much, I'd delete all of my tweet history except from like 6 months ago to now, you know? But I don't care because my past is part of what made me who I am now. So if you find something stupid I said, okay, I'll cringe a little bit. That's it. I don't care. And also what they failed to realize here is the act of me even making this channel and discussing the things that I have. You think I don't know that I risk not getting any type of hosting job in the gaming industry again? You think I don't know that? You think I don't know that the chances of me are lower from me being more outspoken? Because the industry is run by, not everybody, but it is run by a lot of people who subscribe to the woke narrative that if you don't toe the line and if you don't follow this and if you don't think the way we do, then you can't work with us type thing. You think I don't know that? I know that. My thing is I just got no more hex to give anymore. Do I still want to be in the gaming industry and do I still want to have future opportunities hosting stuff? Yeah, that would be great. But if I got to shut up and just sit there and be a token woman just for some points, woke points that they'll get from my presence and I can't exist beyond that, I don't freaking want it. Also, you think I'm scared? You think that if it comes down to it, that I can't just freaking, if I can't get work in the industry, you think I can't just start a fitness coaching and nutrition coaching service and make a lot more than the gaming industry has ever paid me anyway? If it was just all about that and all about money, like that ain't it. I ain't scared. All right? It ain't about that. And I ain't scared. And even if I didn't have those kind of fallbacks, I ain't gonna live my life afraid. I'm not gonna do it. Also, that's my stream screen. Also, I'm gonna bring another Bible verse into this because I did that in my last 2 videos, which I might add, I'm very happy at how many people liked that. On both of my videos, I just, you know, it came to me. I was like, oh yeah, that reminds me of this. Oh, sorry, making noises with the mic. And I expected even some sort of backlash for that, but then I forget, wait a minute, when my audience isn't filled with wokies, they're actually okay with me having my own belief system, whether they agree with it or not, and they're okay with me sharing it because they're not threatened by people having different opinions or different backgrounds or different faiths. So thank y'all for being reasonable human beings. I'm not entirely used to this. I gotta be honest. This is refreshing, given what I've been around and how I've felt for years and how I've felt that I've had to be a certain way. So anyway, let me share this. I've got my Exodia card here, which is Psalm 118, verse 6. It says, "The Lord is on my side. I will not fear. What can mere man do to me?" And that is exactly how I live my life right now. Last I stumbled on that verse, that's when it hit me a lot. I was like, you know what? This is true. Like, God has a path for me and God has his hand on me. Even when I was going through like rebellious stages and all that, God still never stopped protecting me, even though I didn't realize it at the time. So I know that anytime anyone wants to come after me over anything, God's got my back. I may feel times where things feel like everything is crumbling, like when that cancel campaign came after me last summer, which I talked about on that video. But even at the time, and in the dark in that moment, I didn't realize that was actually for my own good, because it worked out. It freed me. Okay, obviously it wasn't a fun experience, but it freed me. It made me learn to just be like, hey, you know what? If they're not gonna like me, they're not gonna like me, and I can move on with my life. So I'm grateful for that. Now, this brings me back to, oh, wait, before I get into what I'm segueing about, I will say I'm being good. I'm not going to stoop to their tactics. But I will say somebody, a mutual in the industry, said something. I'm not going to say what method, if it was DM or not, or anything like that, because I don't want anyone coming after them, even though, yeah, it wouldn't be entirely unwarranted. Said something to me along the lines of, let me paraphrase so I don't completely give them away, but they were basically saying that, oh, this was a deserved message to receive. This was a deserved email to receive, because this person hates Jeremy. And because of that, this was deserved for me to receive, and I don't deserve to work in the industry if I'm friends with him. Mind you, said person, very typical of the male feminist variety in their narrative and in the things that they tweet and the virtue signaling about women all the time, has had Me Too accusations against them, literally just a couple years ago or so. And despite that, I did not even unfollow them or anything like that, because I didn't feel like the evidence was sufficient enough for me to do so. Usually when it comes to that kind of thing, any type of cancel campaigns or anything like that, in order for me to actually unfollow somebody over that, the evidence has to be very sufficient, and or I have to know the person making said claims well enough to know for a fact that, hey, you know, they wouldn't be lying about this. Even so, I don't think that Twitter is the place to be doing this kind of stuff, except for extremely rare anomalies. So, just saying, usually people who are the loudest about this kind of thing and have issue with this kind of thing, in my situation, like being friends with Jeremy, they got their own skeletons, okay? And I'm just baffled by the audacity of somebody who's literally been Me Too'd to make that kind of statement. Yeah. But I digress. I'm going to say the gaming industry and my experiences. Now, obviously, I have not interacted with every single person in the industry, and I'm not going to talk about say that this is about every single person in the industry. But I will say that a lot of the virtue signaling male feminist types that I do know and have personal experiences with, or have been friends with, or maybe still am friends with, a lot of them definitely at the least have some creeper vibes to them. It's not uncommon. Now, I'm telling you, like, for example, one of them who is very vocal in this space, he has asked myself and other women who have actually done it, which I didn't, but oh, by the way, I love taking pictures, you know, photography is my passion. Now, and mind you, this person is not a photographer. This isn't their occupation. It's not something they really do. They just like taking pictures of people for fun. And they make it a habit of asking women in the industry to go up to their hotel rooms at events and do lingerie photo shoots with them alone in their hotel room. Because that's appropriate. Yeah. These are the kind of people we're dealing with. The ones who are going to shame Jeremy because he has criticisms against people that may happen to be female sometimes. You know, because he's not allowed to disagree with women on anything. Mind you, these woke mob can disagree with me and come after me just for being friends with someone. But yeah, that's a double standard they don't want to talk about. So, yeah. And like I said earlier, and one thing that I feel like when it comes to the mob is that there is a likeness to an abusive relationship with that. I just remember, like, when I was a kid growing up, I was homeschooled, grew up on military bases and stuff like that because I was an Army brat. And there was always a bunch of kids, like other fellow Army brats in the area, like when we lived on base, especially, like in the apartment complexes, housing complexes. And so, yeah, like me and my brothers would make friends with all the neighbor kids and crap like that. And then people would be moving in and out all the time because, military life. And I do remember, having those occasions. I think most of us have been there where we've had a friend who thinks they can tell you who you're allowed to be friends with. And I remember having a friend who was like that and telling my mom about it. Oh, they're mad that I'm friends with this person or that person. And then my mom was like, yeah, you can't. That's not a good friend. If somebody tells you who you're allowed to be friends with, that's controlling and that's not a good friend. And this is something that should be common sense, but here we are. And this is another issue I have with the mob is they want to control every single facet of your life. They're not happy unless you subscribe to every little thought that they approve of. Mind you, that also changes based on the day because they're out there literally changing word definitions. They're changing definitions. They're changing narratives. They're changing the science. Everything is constantly changing. And if you are not up to date on the latest and you're not right there parroting the latest, then they're done with you and they want to ruin you. And the fact that you can't even be friends with people without being scared of losing your livelihood, I mean, this is just where we're at. And there's another mutual that I have, which I'm not going to get too specific because I don't want people to find who they are, but I feel like they were subtweeting about being a mutual about me. Now, I can't totally say it was about me, but at least it's relating to the topic here. And this person has a pretty prominent position in the gaming industry. They're great. I think they're great. I've had limited DM interactions with them for funsies about a certain game. And they're cool. And sometimes I will like or retweet something that they tweet. Just, And so I've seen tweets that they've made where apparently they've come under fire for being a mutual with somebody, which I assumed was me. Maybe it's not. But at any rate, they're still under fire for being a mutual with somebody. And they made tweets about it and how upsetting that was to them. They didn't specify who it was. And they were like, man, this really sucks that I'm being judged about just who I follow on here. And that I can't interact with people that I want to without the mob coming after me type thing. And I saw that and it was sad because it just reminded me of some of my own experiences, like in this email I just got here. And that's just the state that we're in right now, where I don't know how in any universe the mob can even try to consider themselves as righteous people and virtuous people as they try, when they just get so much gratification out of ruining people's lives, and they want to choose every little thing about you that you're allowed to do, that you're allowed to say, that you're allowed to think, and that you're allowed to be friends with, and it's just insane. And that's another reason why I've been so outspoken lately. I'm over it. I'm so tired of just being quiet and dealing with this. The climate in the industry is not going to change if we don't stand up to it. And I gotta be there with you guys, standing up against this crap, because it's ridiculous. So that's where we're at. Can't even be friends with people these days. Apparently, they get to choose your friends. They get to choose every little thing about you. And for some reason, they find this method of thinking actually sustainable, because that's the whole thing about the mob is it's not about caring about marginalized groups. It's not caring about women. It's not caring about the LGBT community. It's not caring about people of color. It's not caring about any of that, because anybody in any of those those groups that goes against your narrative, you ostracize them and you're on their case, like with me. And it's all about control for them, and it's all about manipulation. And it's this very weird and creepy Stockholm syndrome type thing that is pioneered by a lot of people who call themselves allies. And they want you under their thumb. They want you to be a victim, because if you're a victim, then they have control over you. And they make you feel like they're in your corner, but they're not. They just want you beneath them. In more ways than one. So, that's that. That's what's going on right now. But anyway, I'm really happy with the decisions that I've made. I'm really happy to be standing up for myself. I'm really happy for sticking to my guns here and not folding. And I'm not going to. This is, whatever happens, I'll deal with it. If I can't get a job in the industry again, I'll deal with it. I'll handle it. Because it ain't worth it if I can only be in the industry if I just can't be myself, can't have my own thoughts, any of that. If I have to be controlled and have to be treated like a victim, then I don't want it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens for there. But at any rate, I'm really happy with the direction I'm at right now. And I'm really grateful for all of you. Again, like I was saying at the beginning, I was just so overwhelmed by all the comments and all the kind words and all that. It just really means a lot to me. And I feel like I'm on the right path. I feel like I'm with my people, man. I found a much more tolerant group, because I cannot even begin to stress how isolated I have felt and how silenced I have felt for so long. And it's like, okay, now I found my peeps. I found an accepting and an actual caring group of people. And it's definitely not the mob. They're modern day Pharisees. There is nothing righteous about them. So, thank you all so much for watching. I'm really excited to continue this channel. And I don't want to make everything about me. I promise. So, any trending topics going on, anything you want me to talk about, feel free to let me know in the comments for the next video, or you can tweet at me. You can at me on specific like articles or anything trending, anything that you think would just be interesting for me to talk about while I get my bearings and figure this out, because I want to do the daily uploads. Once I get in my groove, man, that's what I feel like. The start is the hardest part, but even so, I'm really excited. So, I'm not going to let you guys down. Thank you so much for everything. We're in this together, rebels. Let's freaking go. See you next time. Peace.